Hello, I'm very happy to have today with us two designers who have been who are alumni of the Politecnico di Milano. They came as the second cohort of the Product Service System Design Master in our school. And after they've been back to India, we still kept contacts, and I'm really happy today to be able to have them next to me in this conversation. So I'm really thank you for letting
Good morning.
Sarthak and Sahil. Hello.
Hello, Anne.
We are not. I thought you would be on the same window, but we are on three different screens.
Yeah, we didn't have to fight for space.
Okay, so that's nice. So thank you. Would you like to start with introducing yourself and say what you are doing now in New Delhi, Sahil? You start.
Yeah, so I am. I'm as you already said, we did our masters from Politecnico di Milano, and before that, I did my graduation in applied art from New Delhi, India, and I worked in a exhibition and a set design industry for 5 years. But although it was a wonderful career, but I wanted to do something which was more permanent, and exhibitions create a lot of waste, which was never such a good feeling when you create a huge set and after 3 days it just broken down and goes in the trash. So that was the main reason for me to start thinking about doing masters.
Okay. Yeah. And Sarthak, you also came in the same cohort?
Yes. So first, thank you so much for inviting us to this conversation. I am basically a bachelor's. I have a bachelor's in product design, product and lifestyle design, with specialization in jewelry. And for 5 years, I was working for a jewelry export house in Mumbai. And that industry taught me, it's all about precision and eye for detail. So that industry taught me a lot, and that has stayed with me till today. And also it taught me about merchandising, so client servicing, understanding the need of the client. So that was also great learning. And after doing that, I felt the need to kind of diversify. I want to do something more. And that's when we decided to, when I decided to apply for the PSST course, something more holistic. So after coming to Milan, we had an amazing immersive experience with the PSSD course. We were exposed to so many different kind of design movements that was going on in Milan at that time. So that was a very, very immersive experience. And after we completed our PSST, we also got the opportunity to do our stage with Capellini Cap Design under the mentorship of Giulio Capellini for a project called Project Inova. This project was actually oriented towards addressing how historical furniture brand like Potona Frau Group could launch its product in emerging luxury markets like India, Brazil. So that again was an amazing experience to understand the Indian market, but from an international perspective.
Great. So, and then from that, you created your company and you started to work with a lot of artisans and a lot of skills there in India. And that's why probably your theme that you developed it was really on this topic of artisan and on the revival of artisanal spirit in this time of pandemic. So I think that's really something that for you was not only a dream, it has become a reality. And but how would you speak about it now in this context of lockdown and of living everyone in its own little home? So what was this thematic all about?
Yes, it's a dream, but it is based on certain trends, consumer trends that we are noticing around us. we, of course, we are physically isolated. So in a way, we are observing that, we believe that we are seeing people more and more embracing the DIY lifestyle. And we are seeing people who are doing home improvements on their own. They are cooking for their family, managing work, and working from home, managing their families, maintaining kitchen gardens. So there is this whole revival or rekindling with the inner maker. And we believe that this new awareness may lead to relooking at our relationship with artisanship. There's a newfound respect for people who are working with hands now that we all are more hands-on. So this new rekindling is making people curious to know more. I mean, who is making the products or the services they are using? Where is it made? How is it made? They are questioning the process. They are questioning the origin. And more importantly, they're questioning the purpose. Is it really important for us? And what is important for us? I think that is very interesting for us to see this new trend. And we think that we can build on this trend for restructuring the future.
And it's true that we didn't think that India was, well, we always have an idea that India is really the place for craftsmanship. But in the last years, you see also that the consumers are interested with objects of craftsmanship, or are they turning around to industrial plastic, easy to use and to throw away? Because that's the question also about waste that Sahil was speaking about when he was speaking about the. So what is the situation now around you?
So actually, when we started our studio, and the whole idea of sustainability was really really important for us. We did that as a course, and it really and as in Indian materials, Indian craftsmanship, most of the materials that our artisan use are actually sustainable. They have been doing it for centuries, and there are various uniquely skilled artisans that we have in India. And we wanted to tap that market, not only as a craft, but also at the same time to understand that what skills do we have as which are indigenous to our culture. Like, so that is the main reason when we started our studio, we started doing research, and we went to various towns and we started collaborating with these artisans. In terms of, if you say the waste or the industrial products, definitely they are there, and we also import a lot. But I think the market has become more conscious of that the people have become more conscious about sustainability, where the products are coming from, are they made by hand, what is the cycle of production. And we feel that for the past 12 years, 11 years we've been working, we've seen that growth in our clients who understand the value of handmade and the value of made in India also.
Would you like to show something? I think you prepared some slides. Yes. We could show the first slide, maybe.
First one, yes.
Okay. Because when we had a conversation to prepare this one, you spoke about.
So probably the other. This is the second one.
Okay.
This one. Yes, this one. Yes, perfect. Thanks, Anne. So I'll talk about this particular product. So the point we are trying to make is the consumers, the customers, they're open to new ideas. It is for designers to bring it to them. So a lot of times plastic is used because it's a matter of convenience. For example, we designed this resort project in Rajasthan, western part of India. And when we wanted to design this property, we wanted to go in a very 0-kilometer design approach. We wanted to source material skills which was in and around this region. and involve artisans who live in and around this region, the community in and around this area. And while we were scouting, we came across this artisan in a small village who specialized in making milk cans, metal milk cans, which has almost become a thing of past right now. In the city, almost you never see them. In the villages, you still get to see them. And so we were really amazed to see this. If you see on the right hand side bottom, these really old milk cans, and we were very curious, although the man was working on some AC unit or something. So we asked him who made these milk cans, and he said that, well, I make it, I have the skills. And we were really amazed that this man with very primitive tools can make this water resistant container out of metal sheet with no formal training, you know. And he doesn't even realize that he is possessing this kind of skills. So we had to work with this, you know, really skilled person and make him realize that you have something very valuable skill in you. And at the same time, you're working for this resort. So the resort needed a lot of outdoor lights. So we created this series of milk can lights. So they are innately water resistant. It was perfect to you know, use that idea into creating outdoor lights which would be water resistant, and so we created this whole series of outdoor lights with this artisan. And the artisan basically stopped making milk cans because everybody's buying plastic milk cans, you know. So I think there is a need as a designer for us to reinterpret, recontextualize skills, objects, elements, resources that are kind of going obsolete. So we have to give it a new life, a new purpose.
Yes, thank you. But now, how do we do that with the young designers? How can who have been isolated all this period of time? Everyone is in its home, so the young ones who come out of school and who would like to start a business. So how they can be in connection with companies, and how would you, what would you tell them to do to start thinking about this way of producing as well, which is more sustainable?
Yeah, I feel that we have, I mean, as a designer, there is a possibility to first learn, because to understand a craft, to understand how different materials work, there is a big learning process. And for example, when we work with our artisans from across India, we have been we thought, and we were also advised by certain investors that why don't you club them all together, you know, work in one factory. So we said, no, we want them to stay in their own space. We want them to create their own products, and we will communicate through emails and everything. And you will be surprised that now it's a pandemic time, but when WhatsApp came for our business, it was amazing, because our artisans could not do that. They were unable to communicate through us through long distances. But I think internationally there is a possibility for designers to collaborate with uniquely skilled people. It could be a maker, it could be a person working with glass, because all these skills need a factory. They need a small setup. So I think one designer needs to first understand different materials that he has near him in his local community, in his country, so that he can start to learn from them. I'm sure there are ways to collaborate, to understand the production process, to understand what are the methods, because in certain craft, it is to do with the story of craft, like, you know, how they actually used to make it and what is the process to make it. And in certain certain stories, there is a craft or a material which tells you itself that this is the way to go about it. There are technical processes also. So I think during this time, a person can actually do that research. They can, Sarthak, do you want to add something?
Yeah. So I think what Sahil is trying to say here is, when we started our company, we actually made a conscious decision not to kind of work under one roof. We had this business model where we would collaborate on a pan India basis with artisans in Kerala, in Manipur, in UP, and different parts of the country. And why we wanted to do that? Because we were hungry for different mediums. We as designers, we are always curious. Oh, today glass, tomorrow metal, third day pottery. So that's how we are. So we did not want to limit ourselves to one material, one process. Although we were advised some by business gurus that how will you scale this business? You create a factory, get an artisan, you can control the quality better. There is it's a better model. So we did not want to do that. And today the pandemic, actually, it is kind of good for us in a way that our supply chains are still intact. Our artisans are safe in their hometown. They have not been dislodged from their natural environment, which I feel is very important, because for Indian cults, they have this unsaid relationship with the community, with the nature, with the climate, with the landscape, and that kind of shows in their craft, in their processes. So they are there and they're working for us. And a lot of times the cities or the places, villages they contribute to the craft. For example, we are working with a group of potters from Manipur, which is on a mountain area in the eastern side of the country, and they add a certain soil to the pottery, to bring a certain color, which soil is only available there. So so we have all that system in place, and we are continuing to work with them. Even of course digitally, we have to connect with them digitally, but it is a possibility. For young designers, this is a time that they don't have to kind of stick to one medium, one company. They can explore by reaching out through NGOs. There are certain platforms, we'll talk about it, so which can create linkages for a young designer in a city who can connect with these craft clusters in different parts of India.
Okay. Yeah, and if you can show us the next slide, we can explain you one of the villages that we associate with. So if you see there's a chair in a picture. So that chair is actually a result of sourcing upcycle fabric waste. And we were very lucky to get this project. As soon as we came back to India, within 6 months, we were living in this small village where they were coming up with a resort project, and we wanted it to be a 0 kilometer design project. We really wanted that all the materials, all the craft, all the people involved in the project are all nearby, and we don't bring products from very far away. And our client would have wanted us to create a project which was more a traditional Rajasthan project, but heritage project. But we wanted it to be a very local source locally, and as if you have entered into a house in a village, and the kind of experience you get. So that concept made us work a little bit harder in sourcing these uniquely skilled people. And we found a material which was actually a very inexpensive material, which is like a waste fabric from factories, which was just used to make some beds, the local beds in India. And we found the village where this material was coming. We trained those people, and then now we have a bigger collection of these products. But it was a long process to understand the material, to first find that there is because from India we have so much fabric waste because we export so much from India, and to understand that material, which is actually itself a sustainable material because it's cotton, and
Sorry, I don't hear you anymore.
No, I'm sorry. So you want to continue?
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, there was a problem with the mic.
Glitch with his mic.
Sorry.
So what I think he's trying to say is that so we saw this material; it had potential. There was already some work being done on an organic, on a grassroots level, where people are making beds. But we created a system with this group of artisans, and we kind of sensitized them to color, to material, to segregating the waste from cotton to georgette to silk. We created a color palette, and now it's kind of an organized system where we can, and it's a part of our catalog. And one of these chairs is also selected as for a permanent display at the Vienna Museum, which makes us very happy because it came from a very frugal kind of a design methodology.
Okay, and for the young designers, where can, if they don't know how to look for artisans and they cannot travel at the moment, at least, are there platforms, are there services or open spaces or places where they could meet other designers or artisans or the ONG that you were speaking about, the NGOs who could put them in contact? Because that's the point, is I'm alone, I'm in my home with my family. How can I get in contact and start my research?
Yes, NGOs are very important linkages between designers and the artisan community. There are such NGOs. One is ICA. And ICA is an organization that has recently started a platform called Shilp Sanvad, which is news about the artisanship, if you kind of translate it. And that's a very interesting platform because it's a platform which creates, masterclass for the artisans, and we kind of connects artisans to designers, to digital marketing experts, to industry experts, exporters, and other things, and vice versa. It's kind of creates a digital space for industry and designers and artisans to come together and have collaborative projects, but also a platform of exchange of ideas. So sometimes designers also get to know what are the problems the artisans are facing, and then they can probably think in that direction. For example, we were also invited for this platform once, and our topic of conversation was packaging, sustainable packaging for e-commerce business. A lot of artisans are now themselves going into e-commerce business. They are not going through middleman or through some other organization, but they make a beautiful product. They find they create a kind of a platform and to sell the product. But if the product is not properly packaged or reaches damage to the end consumer, then the whole process gets wasted. So we kind of had a whole brainstorming session online, how to package a product most effectively for e-commerce business and to keep it sustainable, because it's very easy to just wrap it with bubble paper and this and thermocol, but it's not sustainable. So it's a beautiful product made handmade with eco-friendly material, resources, and then it's packed in a ugly, unsustainable way.
Yeah.
It takes away from the whole appeal. So it was a very interesting idea, and it was not designers telling them what to do. It was an exchange, and they had some very good ideas and something. I mean, they probably gave ideas how they pack their farming tools and what they use there, and that triggered an idea that, oh, we can do the same thing for a glass vase or a ceramic vase, you know. So this always, we think that the innovation happens through exchange. It can't be the designer telling them what to do. That is a bit superficial. So it has to be an exchange of ideas.
Thank you. And one point that is always interesting to me is what are the women doing as artisans? Because you produce a lot of fabrics and a lot of elements of design which are done maybe by women. So how are they living this period? Do you have feedbacks? Do you know what's happening for them?
We do actually work with. Am I audible? So actually, we do actually work with a lot of women self-help group, and there are places in India where there are women who have in a village a huge community, and they're self-taught, or NGO has been involved, and we are also involved in certain communities. And I think during the pandemic also there was a time when we could not reach them, or the materials couldn't reach them, but they are now back and we are working with them. And for them it actually works in a way better to stay at their home or to collaborate with a local NGO, so that they're able to take care of their children, of their household work. So for them, this has been always the way of life, to spend some time at home and some time creating products because of their skill. And I think we've been our effort has always been to not, as Sarthak said earlier, is not to take them out of their environment and make them into a factory. So our products also say the story. We put their names on the things that they stitch for us. So whenever you buy their product, there is a customized name of the woman who's making them. So I think these stories are, and it helps us enlarge our business, because to have few people working and then giving the work to village, and then it just get distributed to different homes. It's a wonderful thing, and we learn a lot from them also in terms of skill and how they can change the material. I think that's very important. And if you see this last slide that we have, I'll tell you very quickly about it. So this collection is a collection of craft and technology put together. We were approached by a biggest steel manufacturer in India saying that that people perceive their products, steel products, as cold, and they wanted us to somehow make them part of home, part of the products. So we used, if you see there closely, you will see some wooden blocks in it, and the wooden blocks are used to create the cushion, and the pattern of the block was given to the factory to do a laser cutout on the steel as a chair. So we were very happy that this is one of the two projects that we did where industry approached us to amalgamate craft into their products. So I think this has been a wonderful growth for our understanding that how craft, how handmade skills can not only bring purpose but also the warmth, into the product. That is very important, I think, in this time, that you feel connected to a product that you're living with in your space.
Yeah, and the inner space is really important. But can you tell me, what do you see around you? If you look out of the window, how is the situation in New Delhi? Is it empty, completely closed? Just 1 minute more and we have to close? Sarthak, we don't hear you. We need a micro.
So the lockdown has been lifted in New Delhi. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but people are back on the street. The gyms are opening tomorrow. So I think people are kind of in a denial still. I mean, the second wave was like a siege. It was terrible, but it seems that people are going to go back to living their lives.
So the new normal will be a new experience, but we all feel that people have just to want to go back to the old life.
Yes,
but
yes. The community people cannot get isolated.
Yeah. Isolation is terrible.
Terrible.
Okay, Sahil, last one word.
I mean, First of all, it's been wonderful that you invited us. We've been very lucky to be a part of this 24-hour conversation. We attended it last year also, and I think it is so wonderful to see that so many designers are contributing towards society, and I think that is what we need to do now as a designer, to see how can we contribute to make our environment much better, situation much better. I think that is the main thing right now.
Thank you very much, Sahil and Sarthak. I hope to see you live in some Salone del Mobile with some new products. And I say goodbye, and
Bye.
I hope it will be easier in your everyday life from now on.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.